Y'all, what is good is Shot Sage returning for another amazing video. I am back. What's good? What's up? It is November 1st, the start of a new month. Okay, Scorpio season 2024 almost over, honey. I cannot believe it. Okay. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching, for subscribing, for supporting me, for your emails, and I want to thank those who also, get readings for me. Okay. Again, I'm doing natal. Get you a natal chart package. That's what I'm saying. Get you a natal chart package, honey. Like I said, I do discounts. I know how it is nowadays. Just email me. I'll send you a sample, and we'll go from there. Okay. Okay, so this topic, hey, what's up? This topic, I would like to call the wigger program. Okay, I'm gonna say wigger because I don't want to say nigga too much because I don't know if they're gonna demonetize me. Okay, but okay, so I wanted to talk about, and what inspired me to make this video was studying Charleston White. Okay. Okay, so this week, Lil Durk got arrested, and Charleston White is very controversial in his opinions, and I say at least about a good hard 70%. I agree with what he says. So I'm saying that to say a lot of people do not like Charleston White, but particularly in the black community, Charleston White is what I would like to call a necessary evil. Okay? Charleston White is a necessary evil. Okay? Why, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. Okay? Okay, so how can I explain it? Okay, so black Americans, we have certain behaviors and we have certain stereotypes that we have adapted over the last few hundred years, okay, due to the colonization of America, okay? So, and we live in the matrix, right? So, based on Jim Crow and slavery, we developed certain characteristics and behavior and stereotypes that we exhibit, okay? I know that I went to a mixed school. I went to a predominantly white school, but it was mixed. Arab, black, white, Asian, whatever, okay? From an objective point of view, I really hate to say it, but stereotypes do hold some truth to it. It is what it is. Stereotypes for all ethnic groups hold some truth. It just is what it is, okay? So, let me break this down first. What is the nigger program? Okay, let me break that down first. Okay. So, again, as I stated, certain behaviors due to Jim Crow and slavery were, because we were in survival mode, stripped of our culture and language and stuff like that, we had to adapt. Okay, we had to learn English and we had to learn European customs because who invaded America early on? It was the French, some of the Dutch, and primarily the English that were here in like the early 1600s, 1500s when they started to establish things here in America, right? So the nigger program is a combination of certain values and behaviors that aren't necessarily healthy that we have developed out of survival, okay? So what does this look like? Okay, so for example, a lot of black people, we do center materialism above everything, okay? And don't get me wrong, I am a material girl, okay? Y'all know me, okay? I don't believe in romance without no finance. If you ain't got no money, please don't talk to me. It's an insult, okay? However, everything is at an extreme, okay? There's a spectrum to everything. So when it comes to materialism in the black community, it's directed in a way where money and materialism and status overshadows community, unity, and family. Okay, so because materialism in the Black community is valued more than community and family, this incites competition. So this is where you get the crabs in a bucket mentality. You make it out your neighborhood, everybody mad at you, everybody hates you. Now niggas want to kill you because y'all went to the same schools and went to the same grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same churches, used to go to the same stores, but you're not doing that no more. So now that incites envy. Okay, materialism. This author nigga program also includes certain gender roles. Okay, Black Americans are primarily Christian. The Christian doctrine was made from patriarchy. So this is why you have a lot of the Black community is centered around the male perspective. Okay, the Black community is anti-feminine. All right, I said what I said. It's really true. Anything considered feminine is not considered strong or right in the Black community. Okay, so the way that the gender roles in the Black community affects certain stereotypes. So for example, maybe putting everything on the woman, and basically Black women are expected to take care of Black men unconditionally. You can go to jail, you can have 3 babies on me, you can not have a job, and I'm going to love you unconditionally because that's what I'm supposed to do. Or I'm supposed to hold you down in jail because that's what Black love is. Okay, those stereotypes are unhealthy. And also gender roles also leak into parenting. Okay, in the Black community, they love the boys, but they raise the girls. Okay, so in the Black community, it's a lot of favoritism towards male children aside from female children. And then because boy moms, and particularly in the Black community, because they coddle their sons so much, they sons go out into the world and expect the same treatment, and their mothers aren't providing them with stable, strong, masculine figures to be men. So this is why in the Black community now we see a lack of Black leadership in the community, because the women are coddling the boys, they're loving the boys, and they're raising the women to be strong. So now the women are burnt out, the women are tired, she got to be strong, she got to raise 3 kids by herself, while the man just goes and does what he wants and creates broken homes and just a mess, honey. Your baby daddy, baby mama situation, just a mess, unhealthy. Okay. Another thing about the NIC program, stigmas around mental health, depression and therapy do not exist amongst the Black community. Anxiety doesn't exist. Mental health is not a thing in the Black community. Unhealthy nigga program. Internalizing negative self-beliefs. Okay, about your race based on not only history but based on media. Slave movies, Good Times. It's always a struggle. There's always power in the struggle. Everything don't have to be about struggle, baby. Okay. And I think a lot of that is ties into the behaviors, especially when it comes to gender roles. Black people love glorifying struggle because I guess we take pride in overcoming slavery and overcoming bus boycotts from Rosa Parks and shit, when on this channel we already know that the melanated race is the original race on the planet, and at one point in time everybody on the planet was melanated. Other races were created during the age of Taurus, which was about 2,500 times 2. Well, they're about 6,000 years old. I think about 6,000, 5,000, 6,000 years old. Okay, so other races on the planet, like I said, you gotta look at this shit bigger picture. Other races on the planet are still new to the planet. So this is why, white people always be wanting to explore caves and jump off of skyscrapers to feel something, in that adrenaline rush, because they're new to the planet. They're just exploring this planet. They just came here. We black people, we've been here for really trillions of years. Okay, starting with the Homo erectus, race. Okay, so the original people on this planet were melanated. So because that's not taught in Western society, real black history, not nobody making peanut butter or nobody boycotting or somebody making a speech. That's not real black history, baby. Real black history is we was building the pyramids. We made math. What's his name? Imhotep in the kingdom of Nubia. He was the first doctor who came up with a lot of medicines that the Western world rules today. Okay. Certain civilizations, certain wisdom and esoteric texts, we created that. Okay, so we created math, sciences, astronomy, astrology, health, medical procedures, surgery, mummification, how to preserve bodies, how to build structures. Okay, we built those things. Okay, that's real black history, not no goddamn bus boycott. Okay, but because we don't know this, strip away your history. It's not taught. We're internalized to think that we're a damned race and that it is our birthright to struggle, which is further from the truth, because our birthright is to this planet, because Alpha and Omega, as it within heaven, so it is on earth. God is the cosmos, dark matter. I made man in my image. So if I made man in my image and I'm from dark matter, I'm going to make a dark person. Okay? Come on now. Preach, preacher. Okay? So, internalizing beliefs. Okay? Also, things in the nigga program, encouraging violence. We hear it in the rap music. We sing Paid in Full. We sing Boys in the Hood. We sing Belly. We sing New Jack City. Okay? Nigga program, violence. Okay? And also, scarcity, poverty. Okay? Scarcity and poverty. Black people are used to poverty, and again, struggle. To us, that's normal. Okay? Also, the nigga program, stigmatizing or outcasting people who are different. Not every black person is the same. You have your upper class. You have your upper class black Americans. You have your alternative black Americans, those who are into anime and rock and things like that. I guess you have you can call stereotypical black American, listen, the urban feel with the hats and the hip hop culture black person. Okay, you have it's a lot of ranges of, like, you have the super Muslim, you have the Muslim culture, you got the conscious community, you got the Israelites. It's a lot of demographics of black Americans that we stem. So, but in typically the black community, if you are different, if you don't adhere to certain laws or rules of the nigga program, then you're outcasted, made fun of, looked at as weird, or even if you have different beliefs. Hey, even if you got different beliefs, like even if you're not Christian, what you mean you don't believe in Jesus? How can you not believe in Jesus? What you mean you don't believe in Allah? How can you not believe in Allah? You feel what I'm saying? So, again, we try to stigmatize people that are different from us because we think black people should be one certain way, which is further from the truth. Because this is why, like I said, I don't consider myself a part of black culture. I'm me. Okay, I am the physical manifestation of God, and this is how I'm showing up. Okay, so I don't care to be, and like I said, me being in Atlanta, I had to realize that I don't fit into the black American hip hop culture mold. It's just not me. It's not me. It was never me. I tried to make it fit me. It just don't work. Okay. So I'm saying all that to say, so what I just listed are just some examples of the nigga program. We know the difference between a black person and a nigga, basically. Okay. So back to my point real quick about Charleston White. So I'm saying that Charleston White is a necessary evil because we live in the matrix, right? So the matrix is basically a computer. There's a flow. The matrix was built off the similarities of the body in the cell. Okay, so that's why when you fly an airplane, you look down, you see little you see cars flowing, and the roads look like bloodstreams, and then the cars are flowing with the bloodstreams. I mean, the cars are flowing on the road, and it kind of looks like similar to the physical body. Okay, so the matrix was designed and was inspired by how the physical body operates, because the matrix itself is an entity just like a physical body. So just like a body, right? When you come in contact with a virus, or when you come in contact with a cold, or you come in contact with the flu, right? Your body makes antibodies to combat that virus in order to fight it off, right? So again, when you get sick, or when you get cold with whatever virus that you get, your body produces antibodies to be able to combat that virus, okay? And it's the same thing with Charleston White. Charleston White is the antibody of the nigger program, okay? Charleston White is the antibody of the nigger program. So this is why I'm saying he's a necessary evil, because he is a combatant for hip hop. You can say hip hop stereotypical Black American culture, okay? Because he tell it like it is. So for example, this week with Lil Durk, everybody's screaming Lil Durk, okay? But he's telling people like, fuck Lil Durk. He like same thing he did with King Von. He said, fuck King Von. King Von was a serial killer, and he glad King Von is dead because the world is a better place, because a serial killer has been put to rest. And a lot of the people who subscribe to those urban lifestyles are mad at Charleston White for saying those things, okay? But in actuality, it's true. Or when Charleston White says things like, I don't care to snitch, like, you niggas, like, for example, I guess he was like, this was like a year ago. He landed in somebody's city, and so some gang was like, yeah, you check in, like trying to like bully him, like, oh yeah, you Charleston White, so you can't be in this city without going through the gang first. He like, boy, I'm finna call the police. Like, I don't care about no snitching. Like, y'all can call me what y'all want. Like, he's unapologetic with it, but he's also a little ignorant. And he said that I have to be ignorant. I have to talk ignorant, because if I didn't talk ignorant in a way that y'all would understand, y'all wouldn't get it. And a lot of people was offended by that too. Like, what do you mean? You have to talk to us ignorant? Because most of you motherfuckers is ignorant, okay? But a lot of people don't want to come to terms with that. A lot of people don't want to come to terms with that. Especially a lot of Black Americans do not want to come to terms with certain stereotypes when they continue to perpetuate the stereotype, aka the wigger program. You see how it come full circle? So this is where Charleston White comes in, because Charleston White is the antibody for the wigger program. And this is how energy works. Everything has an opposite. So again, Charleston White, no matter what people might say about him, he is a necessary evil to combat certain ignorance in the Black community. And he does it in a way where not only he's a mixture of streets, but he's a mixture of streets, he's a mixture of ignorance, and he's a mixture of wisdom, which is an excellent combination to have to combat the wigger program. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. So also look at Charleston White too as an example of universal law. Okay? Everything is universal law. What is that? The law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. Okay? One thing cannot exist with the other. If it wasn't for the conditions of the Black community, Charleston White being the antibody for that would not exist. But it's a necessary evil to combat it, because everybody cannot be Umar Johnson. Some people are not, because Umar Johnson is too intelligent, some people under the nigga program are not going to understand him. It just is what it is. So this is why you need somebody like Charleston White to combat that program, okay? And then now that puts me to my next point. So Charleston White, me studying him and observing him, really made me think of the Boondocks. Now, the Boondocks is interesting because the Boondocks, and I'm going to break down the archetypes of Huey, Riley, Grandpa, Ruckus, and Tom. These are all 5 aspects of Black Americans today, okay? So I want to break down those archetypes, and I'm basically saying that you should be a combination of all, including the Uncle Ruckus program, okay? And I'm going to explain to you why, all right? Okay, so in the Boondocks, y'all know the cartoon The Boondocks, okay? By Regina King. Okay, she did actually a great series. It's funny, it's comedic, but it also, gives you a little bit of think piece to it too, okay? So, first we start off with the primary character, which is Huey Freeman, okay? So, Huey, he represents the revolutionary, intellectual Black American, okay? So, Huey is aware of social justices, and he's very critical of social norms. He abides by intellect, activism, and commitment to understanding culture and history. These are your conscious people. These are the ones with the dashiki. These are like your vegan conscious, dumb. Your hoteps, you can say, okay? Your hoteps. These are your hoteps, but hoteps are necessary too, okay? So Huey represents the importance of education, including the acknowledgement of history, critical thinking, and activism. He also encourages others to engage in social justice and question the status quo, okay? Because you can't just, it's not, even though my stand is this, I don't believe that I am oppressed, okay? I do not believe that I am oppressed. I believe that at this point in time in America, our ancestors did us a favor by getting us to where we are today. Now, but however, I'm not saying racism don't exist. I'm not saying that, especially in institutions such as the education system, the medical system, and hell, even I was in the Navy, and I experienced some prejudice. I experienced some subtle prejudice. Didn't get to me much. I mean, I still shitted on them niggas. Y'all know I like to tell this story over and over again, but it is what it is. So, but the thing is with Huey's too much on the revolutionary point of view, to the point where he can't do anything else. So usually super conscious people are so conscious. You don't want to be so conscious where you don't participate in the Matrix, because the Matrix is a game, period. Like, the Matrix is a game. The thing is to step out of it and then figure out how to play the game. That's pretty much it. But being too much in the Huey archetype can cause usually people who, I hate to say it like this, usually people who are over revolutionary kind of don't have a good financial stability standing, okay? And it's true, like a lot of let's be real. A lot of hoteps are broke. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean. A lot of hoteps are broke, and that's okay. Like, so this is the consequence of being overly activist. Okay, we're not ignorant to the fact that racism and social injustices are in this country. Because like I said, I'm not that ignorant person like a Tom. Tom will be the type of person, which I'm about to talk about in a minute, who would deny racism and everybody's equal opportunity, which is true. But I'm going to explain it some more. So, Have a balance. Yes, Huey Freeman is an example of the social activist black person, which is a necessary archetype, but you can't sit too much in that because, well, if you want to reach your full potential, I'm just saying. So I'm giving you all this information so you can reach your full potential. Some people just like staying in that, they'll stay in it, okay? Moving on to Riley Freeman. So Riley represents the young rebel / materialist. I've explained materialism earlier in the black community. Like I said, money is more valued than friendship, family, and community. And again, this is where black people hate each other because it incites competition. Okay, crabs in a barrel, right? So Riley is influenced by hip hop culture, which I explained earlier, and often embodies the stereotypical lifestyle associated with hip hop culture. He represents the youth and the allure of materialism. Y'all seen that episode where, like, Riley just represents the YNs, okay? The YNs, if you ever seen that, the YNs is a new term going around for young niggas. So if you see a post and it says YNs, that's just short term for young niggas, okay? The young niggas, the niggas with the switches, the niggas that be in the drill videos, the niggas that be with the chains. This is what Riley represents, okay? So while Riley can be seen as a product of his environment, he also serves as a reminder to critically assess what influences young people. His character can inspire discussions about the importance of discerning between positive and negative role models. Now, again, Riley represents hip hop culture, the young niggas, the switches, the that, you know, like that's the generation of music now, okay? Now, however, it's beneficial to integrate a little bit of Riley into you, okay? You can be conscious, you can be an activist, you can be an intellectual, like myself. But but it's okay to like ratchet shit. It's okay to want to shine, okay? I like shining. I don't blame Riley. I like shining. I like looking good. So I like smelling good. I love listening to Sexy Red. I love me some Sexy Red. She makes me hype. She gets me hype. Sometimes I like ratchet shit. Who don't? You know, sometimes it's a necessity. Like, I'm not, I'm multi-layered. Okay, so Riley, yes, Riley represents the young niggas who are influenced by gang violence and products of their environment, and the drug dealers and the dope dealers and the paid in full type niggas and the belly type niggas. Or the power type niggas. I'm gonna get some money. It's all about this money. Money over bitches. Okay. Homies over hoes. Homies over hoes. Homies over hoes. Homies. Okay. Like, sometimes, like, it's okay to participate in that archetype because it's fun. And it also represents rebellion against society's expectation. So that's why a lot of people turn to hip hop because hip hop gives you a voice, typically from the streets. Okay, so hip hop was made to give those in the streets a voice. Okay, to share your story, to share your struggles. This is where your Tupac came in, and your Biggies and your gangster rap that came in the early '90s. This is that archetype. Okay, so although this archetype, it's fun. It's y'all know how we do. Black Americans, like we be in the club. We can listen to a little Snoop Dogg. We can listen to a little. Like I said, I like Sexy Red. I like Sexy Red. Sometimes, like, I need that. I need that energy. I need that lifestyle. Or I like Gucci. I like a lot of, but that's kind of different though. Gucci Mane and Dolph are different. That's like boss music, but still like Gucci Mane and Dolph, like, those are my top rappers that I listen to. Like, I like it. I like feeling like a drug dealer. I like feeling motivated to get some money. Okay. Next archetype is the Uncle Ruckus archetype. Now, Uncle Ruckus is an interesting. I like how Regina King and the Boondocks, I like how she put Uncle Ruckus in there for comic relief. Okay. But how, even though Uncle Ruckus is funny, and some people genuinely get offended by it, but that's what it's meant to ruffle your feathers and make you think. Okay. So the Uncle Ruckus archetype is the self-hater. The Uncle Ruckus archetype is the internalization of stereotypes that turn to self-hate. Okay. So Uncle Ruckus is a complex character who internalizes racism and often expunges self-hating beliefs. He serves as both a cautionary tale and a source of dark humor. Like I said, it's funny. But the overall message for that is, Ruckus, he illustrates the dangers of internal racism and self-neglect. His character can spark conversations about self-acceptance and societal narratives on self-identity. So Ruckus represents the self-hating black man. Ruckus represents because a lot of black people, they, like, for example, those studies that they did with black children where they got a white doll and a black doll, and then they asked the baby, which one do you prefer? And then they chose the white doll. That's the Uncle Ruckus archetype. These are the things that we see because of we've been stripped from real black history. Like I said, we was taught that we just came from Africa. They like I said, the Western world teaches that niggas ain't come from shit. You was in Africa in grass skirts, and you so lucky that the white man chose to enslave you to give you a better life. And from there, that's your identity. Okay? They don't teach you anything prior to colonization, because there was I would say that was at least 1,000,000 years of history prior to colonization. Because again, other races, including Caucasians, are genuinely new to the planet. They're only about like 5,000, 6,000 years old. Okay, so Uncle Ruckus just is a reminder of how a lot of black people have internalized self-hating beliefs. Okay, this is where your inferiority complex is coming from. Okay, because believe it or not, and I've seen it with my eyes, and I'm so thankful that I'm able to experience a diverse school, so I know how to interact with other races confidently, not insecurely. But it's a lot of black people who cannot interact with other races without fawning or feeling a sense of inferiority. Okay, because again, they're taking on westernized program. Okay, so Uncle Ruckus just serves as a purpose to watch how you're thinking about yourself. Watch how you self-identify. Do not identify with strictly Black American history, because there was a lot of history prior to colonizations. Again, the Caucasian and other races are only a few thousand years old. We have been here since the beginning of the time. Okay, the first humans. Okay, so but on the other hand too, I think the Uncle Ruckus program or the Uncle Ruckus archetype is a necessity when it also comes to nigga shit. Like, my inner Uncle Ruckus came out when I moved to Atlanta. So sometimes, but it can't come from a place of self-hate. Like, you got to use your Uncle Ruckus program to be like in a way of, why is y'all acting like this? Y'all acting like, basically to combat ignorance is what I'm saying. You can use the Uncle Ruckus archetype to combat the ignorance that is in the black community. Okay, sometimes you're gonna have to do it. I know I do. Sometimes I don't like I said, again, see how I'm saying all this balance? I like the Riley Freeman archetype. Again, I like the hip hop culture, I like Sexy Red, I like all that. But I can't be around it all the time. So that's where the Uncle Ruckus start to come out with me, like, especially if you in the Atlanta area. I can't do niggardry all the time. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. And sometimes, yeah, I do. My inner ruckus do come out silently, and I be like, wow, like we're at a restaurant and you bitches is on couches. Really? Okay. Really? Does this restaurant really need a hookah lounge? Seriously? Hey, y'all gonna be outside in the parking lot at this establishment with this loud ass music, loitering and smoking smoking a wood. So it's like the Uncle Ruckus program is a necessity to combat ignorance. Okay? So sometimes you need to be Uncle Ruckus too. It just is what it is. Okay? And like I said, my Uncle Ruckus didn't come out until I moved to Atlanta. Because I moved to Atlanta because in San Diego, I was like, oh no, where are the black people? You know, like, don't get me wrong, I love the diverse crowd, but I just felt like I was missing something from not being in a city that had more black people. But now that I actually got in a city with more black people, it's like, you niggas be doing too much, okay? So, it is what it is, okay? Next, we have the grandpa, the Robert Freeman archetype. This is the baby boomer, okay? I wouldn't call grandpa wise, okay? This is so the grandpa in Boondocks represents the baby boomer, the southern old traditional Jim Crow generation. Okay, these are your people who marched with Martin Luther King. These are your people who great grandma was an actual slave. These are the people who lived in the South and they had to wash their clothes by hand and they had to feed chickens and farms and shit in like 1930, 1940, 1950. You know, these are those. Okay, so that's what the grandpa archetype represents. So, grandpa is a blend of wisdom and flawed humanity. Okay, he often provides comic relief while also sharing life lessons and experiences. Okay, this archetype emphasizes the importance of familial bonds and the wisdom passed down through generations. It also encourages respect for elders and understanding one's own roots. So, like I said, these are your baby boomers, your traditionalists. Again, like I just read, it's flawed. So there are things about grandpa that are good. Grandpa can be wise sometimes. Grandpa also is very traditional when it comes to women. Okay, grandpa did like that episode where he was with Cristal and Cristal ended up being a hoe at the end. But he was taking care of her. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the provider and he genuinely enjoyed doing it to the point where he even wanted to save her. And you know they say like hoes don't want to be saved. Okay, so grandpa does represent certain traditional values that were lost, that the Riley archetype has disposed of. Okay, so that's why grandpa was whooping Riley's ass, because you got that wisdom, that traditionalism mixed with the materialism, the egoism, and the hip-hop culture and the rebelliousness. Okay, so that's why grandpa always had his belt out for Riley. Okay, so grandpa represents the baby boomer, the traditionalists. Usually people in grandpa's generation, they're usually the baby boomers, the black baby boomers. They are the last to experience the American dream. Okay, the American dream was just for the baby boomers, and the baby boomers got lucky because after World War II, the economy improved exponentially. So this is where they started to sell the American dream. So it was easier to buy a house in like the 70s and 80s and even the 90s. So pretty much all the baby boomers, they got the ideal piece of the American dream, and they was pretty lucky because a lot of them got houses, especially down here in Atlanta. A lot of older people have nice houses. okay, because they've had it for years. They bought it like 40, 30 years ago, okay, and they're able to still maintain it. So that was that little window, and you see in the Boondocks, Grandpa had money. He had a big house. He had money. Okay, well, up until the last season, if you know, you know. Ooh, Lord. Whew. Okay, so the baby boomer, the traditionalist, conservative too. Grandpa also, in the baby boomers are also conservative. So this is your grandma. This is your church going, your Martin Luther Kings, your all of them. Okay. And then lastly is Tom. Okay. So Tom represents the striver, the achiever, the racism doesn't exist. Everybody has a fair chance archetype. Okay. So Tom represents the struggle between personal identity and societal expectation. He often tries to fit into mainstream society while grappling with his own cultural identity. Tom's character can foster discussions on challenging the assimilation versus authenticity, highlighting the need for balance between professional aspirations and cultural heritage. So, Tom is what you will call, I guess, what you call him, a coon. Tom is what you would call cause you know them black people that be hanging around other races, but then they seem to forget that, yeah, we are one, but however, like, you know, like I'm still black. You know what I'm saying? So Tom represents the need for Tom just represents like I just said, the balance between the revolutionary activists not denying, because like Tom is the type of person to be like, racism doesn't exist, and all of my colleagues are white, and well, I mean, I have a white wife, and you know, like, there you go, token, yeah, there you go. He's like a token. Okay, so he just think his accomplishments alone is what society sees. Like, he's the type of person, he don't believe, you know how white people be like, I don't see color. He's the type of person that actually would believe that. Okay, so Tom, although he is affluent in his career, he is kind of socially ignorant in terms of his culture. Okay, so this is where the Tom archetype and the Huey archetype combine together to have a balance. Okay, so like I said, you don't want to be, because I met some black people like that, like, who, like, for example, there was this girl in high school, middle school, because, you know, I went to a big school. She would hang around all the white girls. You will rarely see her, you'll never see her with the black girls or anybody else. She always hung with the white girls. And I remember one time, this was in the winter time, I guess she was trying to, she do everything with her white friends, and they still friends to this day. But I think one day they went tanning. Like, they went to a tanning salon and they went tanning. Okay. And then when she came back with a tan, because she's already my color, but a little bit darker. When she came back with a tan, everybody looking at her kind of crazy. And I felt that uncomfortableness, because it's like she was so focused in her external circle that deep down I think she knew, but it just like, she was like, just ignored the fact that, hey, maybe I don't need to tan with my white friends, because she was looking crazy. She was looking crazy with a tan because she wanted to go tanning with her friends. But in that situation, that's where you gotta have it. I don't think she wanted to recognize, I'm already black, I already got melanin, I probably don't need to tan. Okay, so that represents that archetype. Okay, I think Dr. Umar called them the bourgeoisie. Okay, so yeah, these are your blacks that I don't think she put on sunscreen. I don't think so. And mind you, this was the wintertime, and I lived in the suburbs, so you know, in the wintertime you can still get tan. Like the tanning beds and stuff. You know that the Final Destination movies, they went there. The Final Destination movie where they was in a little tanning thing and with the blue light and stuff. That's what they went to go do. And yeah, so I think she learned, because you could tell she felt uncomfortable coming to school next day because people was talking about it. Like, okay, girl, we get it. You hang around white, y'all your friends white, but you need to kind of have some identity and knowing you can't do everything that your white friends do. Okay, like I said, white people need certain things that we don't. That's why white people need milk, and that's why they can eat raw meat and shit like that. We ain't gotta do all that. Okay, we can sit out in the sun. You know, we different, okay? But just because we different, that don't mean we can't come together and still be comrades. But still, you need that identity, okay? So I'm saying all that to say, okay, is to be optimal, okay? To be optimal. I mean, yeah, but different people have different experiences, yeah. Yeah, she went tanning, trying to fit in with all her friends, okay? But it's very optimal that you incorporate all 5 archetypes of the main characters in the Boondocks for a healthy balance. So, also Tom too. Let me at least give you the positive side of Tom. Tom will be seen as somebody who, okay, if Tom had a balance, Tom will be a great code switcher. What's that movie with Kid and Play? What was it called? Class Act, where that one nigga who worked for the dean's office, and you know how he would code switch talking to Kid, but he would code like when the dean or like other professors came around, he would code switch. So I can say the higher archetype, the more balanced archetype of Tom will be able to blend in to you can say white America. You can blend into white America, okay, very well, okay, if you had the balance. So I say that is the positive, that's the positive side of Tom, having that duality, because like I said, you can't show up as Riley in the corporate setting. It's not gonna work unless you're a rapper, okay? Unless you're a rapper and you know you having an H&R meeting, okay, that's fine. But like being a lawyer, which is Tom is, or being a doctor or something, you can't be Riley in that setting. So you have to have, you know, a balance, a code switcher. It's like being a chameleon, okay? I'm like that too. I can go out and especially when I was in San Diego, I had so many connections in San Diego. That's why I'm trying to go back. Like, I make better connections in San Diego than I do in Atlanta. But when I was in San Diego, baby, I was dating an architect. He introduced me to some friends that was some investment bankers. I was having conversations with lawyers. I was having conversations with surgeons. Like, I had connections. But because I was a girl from Detroit, but I knew how to blend into those social circles. Okay, I knew how to blend into those social circles. So that's the higher archetype of Tom. You can be professional. Okay, you can blend in, be professional, but don't lose your identity. Like, don't be ignorant. Wow, these people really accept me. I must be doing good work. No, they still see you as a black person, honey. Okay, they still see you. What Jay-Z? Still a nigga. Don't matter how many chains you got. Don't matter how many cars you got. Don't matter if you living right next to Bill Gates. At the end of the day, they still view you what they view you. And that is, yeah, we know the word. Okay. So, in conclusion, be embodied for optimal results. Embody all 5 characters of the Boondocks, because it'll give you flexibility, and it'll give you adaptability, and yeah, it'll just give you flexibility and adaptability, and then you can get more opportunities that way, baby. Pretty much. Like, I'm giving y'all the cheat codes to the Matrix, okay? The Matrix is a game. It's like Grand Theft Auto. You get opportunities by building your character, by building your rank, by learning new skills, okay? And the most optimal way to do that, and I appreciate Virginia, because I didn't really think about that. Because again, like going back to Charleston White, I don't know why I just thought about that. Like, thinking about Charleston White this week, I'm just like, this nigga remind me of the Boondocks. He does. Like, he reminds me of the Boondocks. And that's what inspired me to make this video, because I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because the Boondocks represent 5 different archetypes of black people. So embody all 5 archetypes so you can have optimal results and have basically more opportunities and a grander experience in this country, okay? Because you want to be a chameleon, all right? You don't want to be one-dimensional. Again, too much revolutionary, not good. Too much hip-hop culture, too much rapturous, not good. Too much Uncle Ruckus, definitely not good. Too much grandpa, okay? Being too conservative, because you already know how older people are. Y'all, so I don't even need to go on that. You already know, like, them older, back in the day, them southern old people, they are not open-minded at all, okay? They stuck in their time period, and the only way that we gonna see some change is really until they die, and until Generation X becomes the new elders, okay? Because Generation X, they're getting up there. The people born in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, a little bit of 80s, like, they are the, you know, they're the future boomers. They're the future elders. So again, too much grandpa, because, you know, grandpa was kind of ignorant too. Like, you know, with the Obama shit, and, you know, with the, what was that, the fried chicken episode, okay? Grandpa had a lot of his ignorant moments too. Grandpa was really, really ignorant, okay? So, and it was Huey that was telling him, like, hey, Grandpa, this is going on with the government. And then Grandpa would be like, shut up, boy. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up, boy. And then come to find out, Huey, in an episode, he would be right trying to let Riley and Grandpa know, hey, I'm letting you know the social issue that's going on, but you're so focused on your TV and materialistic things that you can't see that. So, and then, like I said, embodying time. Like I said, too much time can have you looking crazy. Too much time can get you set up in corporate areas. Like I said, if you're not aware of your race in the corporate area, you can get scapegoated. You can get railroaded, because you're thinking these people, like, you're putting 100% trust in your colleagues and thinking that they view you as an equal, when in reality, a good handful of them don't. Some might. I'm not saying they all like that. I'm not saying they're all like that. But in corporate white America, you do have to be socially aware of who you are. You can't be just Tom and just be, oh yeah, they just view me as this equal. And no, because that's going to cause you to be set up. And I've seen that shit in the military. I've seen where, especially in boot camp was like a reality show. People would snitch on each other, get in trouble, backstab each other. So I've seen that in boot camp when I was in boot camp for the Navy. Couple of black people, they're taking in the program of the Navy and things that were being talked about as, yeah, you know, we really are equal. Because, you know, they teach that in the military, like, everybody's treated equal. Knowing damn well it is sort of racism in the military. But you did have some black people when I went to boot camp who fell for that program and wasn't, and really believed them 100%, and they end up getting caught up. They end up being around, you know, certain friends who are of different races who blackball them and threw them under a bus and scapegoated them, and they ended up getting in trouble. I've seen that. So that's the dangers of being too much time. So be all 5, have a balance so you can be whole. And Charleston White is a necessary evil. No matter what you say about him, he's created to pretty much combat ignorance in the black community. Pretty much he's the antidote to combat ignorance. Even though he is a little ignorant, but sometimes you have to get in the field. Sometimes you got to get dirty to fight dirt. Sometimes you gotta become a demon to fight demons. It is what it is. So that's it. That's all I got. I'm so proud of myself. I was really scared how I was gonna format this video, but I did good. I did good. I mean, unless y'all got some questions, I'm finna go because I'm about to give me a drink. Am I doing Q&As? I could do a Q&A video if you want me to, but if you want to answer a question before I go, ask a question, I'll be glad to ask your question. But I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope that this video is really informative. Don't be a multi-dimensional Negro. Okay? Don't be super revolutionary. Don't be super Riley. Damn sure don't be super Uncle Ruckus. Have a balance of all. Take a little piece from each and make it your own. Okay? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. All right, y'all. I'm out of 5,000. Maybe one day I'll have a Q&A video. But till next time. Bye.